First on our list is Bully Anniversary Edition. Published by Rockstar Games, that's the same company that makes the Grand Theft Auto titles, and as such, you can expect the gameplay to be pretty similar to the GTA games. It was originally released in October of 2006 for the PlayStation 2 and is classified as an open-world action-adventure game. The game is set in the town of Bullworth, where you play as James, also known as Jimmy, Hopkins. In the game, Jimmy is involuntarily enrolled at Bullworth Academy, where Jimmy finds that his school is filled with bullies and decides to bring peace, gaining fame and praise along the way. You progress through the game by infiltrating the school's cliques and gaining their respect. Now, normally in games like this that have been ported, the controls that they put in the game are usually horrible, and you have to resort to a controller. But I have to say, Rockstar Games did an extremely good job with the controls in this game, and you don't even need a controller to enjoy it. It's very easy, and the game is very optimized. You can play it on all the devices I tested. It ran very smoothly, so I highly recommend it to anybody. The game comes with a $6.99 price tag, and whenever the game originally came out for the PS2, it sold 1.5 million copies, so it's a very good game. It has a very good story. It progresses really well. I highly recommend it to anybody who really just wants a good console quality game.
And boy, remember, you will have a clean nose, so keep it clean, or we'll clean it for you.
Next on our list is Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath is an action-adventure game developed by Oddworld inhabitants and published by EA. Released originally for the Xbox in January of 2005, players assume the role of Stranger the Bounty Hunter. The objective of the game is to catch enough outlaws, whether dead or alive, to earn enough money for a life-saving operation. The game has a unique element for getting your ammunition. Your ammunition has to be caught instead of just found along the ground. This makes the game a little more challenging because it's not just finding ammo on the ground. Like I said, you have to go out and hunt, and you have to, hunt for the type of ammo that you want to use. So it makes the game a little more fun, adds a little more depth to the game because, it's not just like any other shooter where you just find a box of ammo on the ground. And I really enjoyed playing the game. However, the touchscreen controls are pretty horrible to use. While you can play the game, it's not going to be enjoyable, and it's actually going to make the game a lot harder than it should be trying to use the touchscreen controls. So if you were going to play this, I would recommend picking up a controller. I believe it has HID controller support, so it can really run with any Bluetooth controller that you pick up. The game uses first and third person play, and it's going to run you $1.99 on the Play Store. So again, touchscreen controls, not a very good game, but with a controller, this is definitely a game you could spend a lot of time playing, and it is very enjoyable. Next on our list is Galaxy on Fire 2 HD. In the game, players assume the role of Keith T. Maxwell, a captain who has to go on a series of missions in order to save the galaxy. The game contains a really good mix of story-driven and open-world gameplay. There's over 30 star systems and over 100 different planets to explore, 50 different ships, and over 100 different weapons and upgrades for your ship. And the best of all is the price tag. The game is completely free. Now this is a game that was actually developed for mobile, so the touch controls are implemented extremely well. There are advertisements in the game, but I'll link my other video showing you how you can actually block all the advertisements, so you don't have to worry about seeing those. And it does contain 2 purchasable add-ons for the game, or expansions. Originally the game comes with around 10 hours of content, and the expansions actually add more to that, so I highly recommend it. I've played both expansions, and they're well worth the money. The game is completely voice acted, and the amount of side missions you can do are endless, so you can really earn a ton of money in the game to purchase those upgrades. There isn't really a whole lot of grinding. There's no real need to ever have to purchase anything to play the game. But if you are looking to get, the better ships and things, you can grind for a little bit and go and do the side missions. And I highly recommend it. It's a really wonderful game. It's completely free, except for the expansions, which you can pick up. I don't think they're very expensive. It's actually probably one of the better games I've ever played for a mobile. So again, Galaxy on Fire 2 HD, I highly recommend picking it up. Next on our list is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic is an RPG game developed by BioWare and published by LucasArts, released originally for the Xbox in July of 2003 and ported to mobile by Aspyr. The story takes place 4,000 years before formation of the Galactic Empire, where Dark Lord Darth Malak has unleashed a Sith army against the Republic. You play as a Jedi who has to venture to different planets across the galaxy to destroy Malak's Starforge. At the beginning of the game, you have 3 classes to choose from, and you can customize your character. Combat in the game is turn-based, which isn't exactly a favorite of mine, but it actually works pretty well in this game. The game features a cool alignment system, which is affected based on decisions made by the player in the game, and the decisions determine if the player is aligned with the dark or light side. This game has a lot of content in it, and you'll be playing it for a while. There's just so many different things to do and explore. It's a really, really good game for mobile if you're looking for console quality. Something you can just really dive into and spend a few hours playing it every time you play. The game comes with a $9.99 price tag, or you can pick it up for free on the Amazon Underground store. The game is considered by many to be, if not the best, one of the best games ever made. So it's really highly praised, and it comes very well recommended from me as well. The touch controls are good. If you want a little more enjoyable experience, you can use a controller, but it's completely bearable with touch controls. And last but not least is Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic is the 7th installment of the Roller Coaster Tycoon games, released in December of 2016. Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic is a combination of the original Roller Coaster Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. It was developed by Originate and published by Atari. The game is very easily playable with touch controls. In fact, I think it's better than using a computer with the touchscreen. However, if you're on a smaller device, such as a phone, it's not going to be the best because some of the buttons are small and the display does feel kind of cramped. In the game, you're given a situation, whether it be to increase the park's rating or the amount of people in the park, by a set date. And the date's usually 2 to 3 years in the future, so it's pretty easy. And then all you have to do is try to hit that mark by the date. It's a really fun game, and it's only going to run you $5.99, which is good because you get 95 park scenarios, and it's literally going to give you like 30 hours or so of playtime, really, to run through all of those. Probably more because you're not going to be able to beat them on the first try. So guys, this game comes highly recommended. It's a very good game from a very good series and a very good company. So I highly recommend you pick it up, and we'll see you next time on Droid Advisor.